How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Cinemaholic Productions. My name is Spencer Henderson, and I am a cinemaholic.
My name is Ryan, and I will be talking in my podcast voice today because I am a cinemaholic.
Yes, everybody, thank you for joining the program. We have a very exciting show set up for you all today. Yeah, I'm done. I'm
You
done with
totally
that.
like
But
British.
yeah, my podcast voice is British. People hate on it all you want. Okay, but today we're gonna be talking about King Kong, King Kong, the new King Kong movie. What's this one called again?
Skull Island.
Kong Skull Island. What a great title! What a great title, Ryan. Why don't you tell us what Kong Skull Island is about?
Okay, I'm going to take a little bit longer than normal to read the synopsis and then introduce the cast because it's basically like everyone who's ever been in a Marvel movie. But the synopsis is a team of scientists, soldiers, and adventurers unite to explore an uncharted island in the Pacific. Cut off from everything they know, the team ventures into the domain of mighty Kong. As their mission becomes one of survival, they must fight to escape a primal Eden. Pretty interesting synopsis. Now, this movie is directed, I can't say his like the first half of his last name, Jordan Vogt Roberts.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Right. He did Kings of Summer. We were just talking about that. And here's the long cast. This is the top build, along as well as some additionals. We've got Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson, John C. Reilly, John Goodman, Corey Hawkins, Toby Kebbell, Jason Mitchell, Thomas Mann, and am I missing anyone that you want to?
Richard Jenkins and Shea Wiggum. Shea Wiggum.
This says Thomas Middleditch, isn't it? The dude from Silicon Valley.
What? Jerry as Jerry. Who knew?
Jerry.
I didn't see him at all.
Interesting. This I a little bit more to the introduction. This was written by a few people. Dan Gilroy is the top casted. I heard somewhere that this was written by the guy who wrote Nightcrawler.
That's Dan Gilroy, yeah.
That's Dan. So yeah. I will talk about that a little bit later, but first off, let's start with your thoughts. What did you think of Kong Skull Island?
So the opening scene of this, I was like, this is good, like really good. And I was thinking to myself, I think it was at the part where they're going through the storm and Samuel L. Jackson's like, let me tell everybody about the story of Icarus. I was like, oh, shit.
We're going there.
Blockbusters are starting to get so good again, like with Logan and then with this. And then we really lost it, guys. I did not love this movie like one bit. I was actually really disappointed because the setup of it, up until the point I think where King Kong, like the first scene with King Kong, after that, the movie really lost me. And it sucks because the cast is so great. And what I think it comes down to, the reason why this movie lost me, is the characters, man. They what characters, I guess I should say. Especially the two leads, Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson, who are two actors who I really like. There is nothing to their characters. They are seriously cardboard boxes, basically. And it's a shame. I think Samuel L. Jackson brings something interesting to the movie, and this movie has the best shot of all time. There's this part where like King Kong smashes these two helicopters down, all this fire comes up and you see his face, and Samuel L. Jackson is just staring him down. You're like, oh, yes, take my money. And then, yeah, like I said, really lost me. I did not love this movie at all. I think that, like I said, the setup, though, it was so good. And it was so, like, Apocalypse Now-y, which I heard is what they were going for.
I just grabbed this off of my shelf because that's exactly what this movie is.
Yeah, but nowhere near as good.
Not a good
one. Yeah. So I don't know, guys. I was really disappointed. Maybe we can open up a discussion, but what did you think, Ryan?
I was equally disappointed. I just put some candy in my mouth, so I'm going to sound really dumb. But I think the two things that really bugged me the most is how much it tried to be Apocalypse Now. Like, even down to the font. Every single title card was like the Apocalypse Now font, and I was like, why are you trying so hard to be this movie? Like, I don't get it. But on top of that would be the script. It's basically just going off of a more vague term of what you were saying of the characters were nothing. It's like, what characters? The script was so meh. Like, I kind of get what they were going for. They wanted it. It was like a reaction to Godzilla, where everyone was like, oh, we didn't get to see Godzilla until the last 5 minutes of the movie. This is going to be about Kong the whole time. And so it's kind of hard if you're focusing on Kong that much to do so much character development, but there's like no effort put into character development at all. The dialogue is really rough at some points. Like, there are some points where I cringed with the dialogue, but overall, like, I think the actors and the cast did good for what they had, but I don't think there was much room for them to move, and they kind of got pigeonholed, and it was just not very exciting. I don't know. What would you rate it?
Well, before I rate it real quick, I want to kind of piggyback off some of the things you said. First off, there are some classic lines in this movie. Like, there are some funny parts in this. Like, I was dying laughing. Like, there's one part where this guy's like, yeah, it's like being on that island of Vietnam, and this guy's like, Vietnam's not an island, dumbass. And like, that line made me laugh so hard. And then there was a part where John C. Reilly, I saw it was in the trailer, which kind of killed it, because when I saw it, I was dying laughing. But he's like, he's like, the monsters, they're called skull crawlers. He's like, that's the first time I've said that out loud. It sounds really stupid. And I was like, that's awesome, because it's really it's a cheesy little like monster movie. One thing I noticed though, every time somebody wanders off on their own in this movie, they see King Kong. Like, every time somebody's alone at any point in this movie, King Kong just shows up all of a sudden. And it's like the problem in Cloverfield, where at the end, the monster sneaks up on the cameraman and like eats him. And it's like, that thing's like 1,000 feet tall. How would you not hear it coming? It's like the same with King Kong. All of a sudden he's just there, and it's like, wait a second. Is he like tiptoeing? Like, ooh. And most of the time he doesn't even know the humans are there. So I don't know. If I were to rate this, I think I'd give this a 5 out of 10. The first third, like I said, really, really fun. I was really digging it. I was like, they're on to something. This is actually going to be good. And like I said, the opening sequence, like down even to when they see Kong and it goes to a Dutch angle, like I was just like, oh, that's so cheesy, but great, like in a good way.
Right.
But 5 out of 10. I don't know. What would you score it?
I think I have to go a little bit lower than you. I have to go 4.9. Like, if I had to split it in half and say, did I enjoy this movie as much as I didn't enjoy this? I think I have to go just barely. I didn't enjoy it. Though, like, all the action sequences, there's one shot inside the cockpit of the helicopter as the helicopter goes down. Brilliant. And all of like the fights with Kong were awesome. But that's it. And that's not enough to kind of hold my interest throughout the whole movie. And I think my biggest beef, honestly, is that it kind of does fall into the same kind of blockbuster thing that everything else is falling into. This was purely a setup for the 1.5 minute end credit scene, which is another setup for the next movie.
Like, wait. Spoilers, guys. What is the end credit? I didn't stay. What's the end credit thing?
Yeah, spoiler alert. It's basically the 4 main people in a room being like interrogated or something, and they show a bunch of pictures of Mothra and Godzilla, and they're like, there's more to this. And it's basically just a giant setup for a new universe of Kong versus Godzilla.
Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, it sounded exciting for a second, and then I remembered like Godzilla. So this is probably how my face just was. I was probably like, yeah. So, I don't know that. Yeah. No, this movie's not very good, and it has like a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I have no idea why.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyways, that's Kong Skull Island, I suppose. Go see Logan instead. That's all I have to say.
But do let us know if you did see this by mistake, what you thought of it, or if you would recommend it.
If you accidentally stumbled into the theater on accident and then we're like, oh, I'm watching King Kong. Oh, well, I'll just sit here the entire time. Accidentally watched it.
2 hours later.
Yeah. Was that not Logan? Did I not just watch Logan? Where'd the monkey come from? Okay. Well, anyways, guys, I feel like this was a really high energy episode, but I guess you can follow me on Twitter at Spinny Hind and Instagram Spencer Henderson, all lowercase, all one word. Also, follow our Cinemaholic Productions account on Instagram. Just search Cinemaholic Productions. We're probably the top result.
Follow me on Twitter, Rye_Gordon, and Instagram, Rye_Gordon. Don't follow me on Snapchat because I don't have it right now. Peace.